Hi guys, and welcome to my channel, Changing Phases Tarot. So happy to have you here with me today. Now today's reading will be slightly different than the usual mid-monthly reading. And I'll explain why and how I'm going to do that. So first of all, I would like to again apologize for not posting the general readings for the month of June and for not posting any videos over the past couple of weeks. I've been dealing with some personal issues, so instead of trying to go back and do that now, and we're at the middle of the month, I've decided to go ahead with the mid-monthly readings, but instead of just doing the love and romance and career and finance portion of the reading, I'm adding in additional cards for sort of a general overview for the remaining part of the month. So that's what you see here. So I'll be using for the general reading for the last 2 weeks of June, I'll be using the Crystal Visions Tarot deck. I'm knocking stuff over here. Okay, and that's by Jennifer Galasso. And I will be pulling an oracle card to go along with that from the Sacred Traveler Oracle Card deck by Denise, Linn. For the love and romance portion of the reading, I will be using these oracle cards. I've used them before, not in a while. I haven't used them in a while actually, but I was led to use them for the mid-monthly. So the Wisdom of the Oracle deck by Colette Baron Reid. And I will pull an additional oracle card for the love and romance reading from James Van Praag's The Power of Love activation cards. And looking at career and finance, I'll be using the Chrysalis Tarot. Okay, and this is Paintings by Holly Sierra and written by Tony Brooks. And as additional guidance for the career and finance, I will be pulling a Life Purpose Oracle card by Doreen Virtue. Okay, again, as I like to remind you, these are general readings, so the messages may or may not resonate. The only way to get a truly personalized reading would be to order a private reading from me. If you're interested, you can contact me using the INSTANTGO app. Just download the app and search for me. On the app, I'm Changing Phases Tarot. I've put the information about the INSTANTGO app in the information box below. Or you could email me at changingphasestarot@gmail.com or take a look at my site, changingphasestarot.weebly.com. There you'll find the types of readings that I offer as well as pricing. And just, like I usually try to do in these, I don't always remember, but I try to just, thank everybody. I really do appreciate all of my viewers, everybody who takes the time to watch my videos, especially, to like, to comment. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. So I will stop for now, and we'll see each of the signs in 1 second for your reading. Hi Pisces, hope you're doing well. I'm here to get into your mid-monthly reading for June 2018. As you can see, I have already laid the spread, so I will start off with the general reading, which is along the top here. We have in the past position, Major Arcana, number 16, the Tower. It does sit in the past though, so don't worry. This has already happened, hopefully. In the present, we have the Moon, Major Arcana number 18. And the outbound energy for the month, you have the Six of Pentacles. And the card from the bottom of the deck, the overall energy for the last 2 weeks of the month, the Six of Swords. And the Sacred Traveler Oracle card that came out for you is Begin Now. Take your first step. And it's interesting, I'll get to this once as I move through the reading, but you have repeating cards, and they actually came out in the same position. And this has been happening with a number of the signs. The messages in the general reading seem to be very much in line with the messages from the career and finance reading, because you have the Moon and the Six of Stones, or Six of Pentacles, in the exact same position in both readings. So I thought that was interesting. Okay. So beginning with the Tower. I know a lot of people do not always like to see the Tower card. Personally, I don't view it as a horrible event. Obviously some Tower experiences can be negative, you know, depending on what is going on in your life. But really, you know, the energy of the Tower, it comes in to shake things up, right? It comes in to really shake things up in your life. You will never be, or things will never be the same after a Tower experience, and that's needed. You know, sometimes if this is, for example, in your career sector, and you have been doing the same job for many years, maybe you're not that happy in the job, but you stay there anyway because, you know, the money's okay, and, you know, it's, you just kind of keep doing what you've always done. Well, unless something really major, significant comes in to shake things up, like a downsizing of the company, you know, you getting laid off, them closing the store, whatever it is, you might not, you know, have the sort of push that you need to get you out of that and possibly into something better for you and something that's more in line with what you really want to do. So it's that type of energy, but it does sit in the past position. So there could have been, in the recent past, you know, a very unexpected event happening. And obviously this is general, so could be in the work sector, could be in the, you know, the relationship sector, could be, you know, the ending of a relationship, even something very, you know, kind of more severe, such as a, you know, a breakup of a marriage, like a divorce, something like that. Or it could just be, you know, very unexpected news that came in. But it definitely came in and it, you know, it shook your world. Although, you know, with the Tower card, it's important to remember that, you know, possibly the foundation upon which this tower was built was not that, you know, was not that strong to begin with. So, you know, it had to happen, you know, but it is in the past. Now, following this tower, you have the moon, and the moon speaks that this card has been coming out a lot for a lot of the signs this month. It's a card that can have to do with, well, it's another major arcana card, but it can have to do with, you know, revealing things, uncovering secrets. And the moon, yes, it does, you know, shine its light, but it also casts shadows, right? It's different than the sun, which comes in to, you know, illuminate. The moon comes in to sort of cast shadows. It does have to do with, or it can have to do with our subconscious. It can have to do with those sort of hidden fears, right? Things that sometimes we don't want to face. So it can have to do with facing our fears. It can also have to do with our psychic abilities, intuition, dreams, you know, so there might be messages coming in. You might be uncovering things or figuring things out. Or learning things through, you know, messages that come in unexpected manners, such as through a dream or, you know, through repeating messages or signs, synchronicities, things like that. So do pay attention to those. And then you have as the outbound energy, the Six of Pentacles, which is, you know, it's generally a card of, it's sort of the give and take card, right? And this is Pentacles energy, which deals with the material things in life. So it's the work that we do, the money that we earn for the work that we do. It's our material possessions, you know, financial prosperity, our homes, has to do with our home, family, also education, knowledge. But with the Six, it's the give and take, you know, it's the back and forth. Sometimes this card appears when you are the one in need of, for example, you know, we're dealing with finances, so in need of money. This could be you going to the bank in search of, you know, or trying to get a loan. This could be you going to the bank and doing the opposite, repaying a loan. This could be somebody coming to you and asking you for money, asking to borrow money from you, right? You could be lending that person money, or it could be somebody repaying you for money that they borrowed. But it generally reminds us that, you know, you see that the woman on the card, you know, she's worked hard. She's, you know, she has the Six Pentacles around her. A basket is full. So she has, you know, more than she really needs, more than just, you know, for herself here. So she's sharing with, the birds are coming by. They're taking fruit out of her basket. So it's important to remember that when we are the ones, you know, on the sort of the giving end, it's important to give of what we have, to share of what we have, because you never know when you might need that and you might be on the receiving end. So it's, you know, it's this reciprocal sort of give and take type of energy. And And then with the, we have another 6 as the overall energy. So you have 2 major arcanas and 2 number 6s. And the 6 of Swords is the overall energy. This is a card of transition, right? In the Tarot, it's with the 8 of Cups is a transitional card. The 6 of Swords is another transitional card. And it shows the woman, she's dropping all of the swords and she's just walking away, right? In the traditional Tarot, that there's a woman in a boat. She has her children in the boat, and they're sailing away from what looks like choppy waters into calmer waters. So it generally means that if whatever difficult situation you might have been through or been dealing with, especially with this Tower situation in the past, this is now you moving ahead and moving into calmer waters, moving into, if you've been having trouble with finances, this is now you moving into, a better financial time or situation for yourself. If this is you, in a job, it's maybe you have been left off, but maybe you're leaving that behind and you're now heading into a job that's going to be more fulfilling for you. So it's it's Swords energy, and the suit of Swords is air energy, which has to do with our thoughts. It's the suit where we set our intentions. It's the suit of the mind, our intellect. It's how we communicate with other people. So, leaving something behind, moving on, but moving on to something that's, going to be better for us, going to possibly bring us greater, financial stability. But there is this hidden thing, so there could be something coming to light, something that you weren't aware of after this Tower situation. And then you have as the Sacred Traveler Oracle card. Let me find this in the guidebook. I like to read the full description for these cards. We have Begin Now, and this card says, every journey starts with the first step. There is no moment better than the present one to begin. You might not feel ready, but nevertheless, it's now time to start. A new cycle is beginning. Wipe the slate clean and get going. Release familiar routines, stagnant situations, or challenging relationships that no longer support or empower you. You are at the end of an old cycle and beginning a new and exciting one. Set your sails for a new horizon. That very much ties in with the 6 of Swords energy here. The Sacred Traveler wants you to know there are times when the traveler needs to separate from family, friends, and acquaintances to enter new places within himself or herself. Sometimes the traveler must go beyond what is familiar in order to be open to transformation and change. Thus, the journey brings a heightened sense of awareness and ignites mindfulness. Sometimes it can feel difficult to take that first step, but unless you do, you will never know the joy and fulfillment that await you. Do it now. In the words of Lao Tzu, a journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step. And that's so true. Sometimes when we're thinking about setting off on a new path and leaving behind something, it can seem like such a hard thing to do. We can mentally, I think we can put lots of obstacles, and think, oh, well, in order for me to, if it's to change a job, I have to do this and I have to do that, and I have to do the other. And, you go listing the things. But the important thing is until you take that first step and say, okay, I am going to change jobs. I am going to move. I am going to do this, and actually put the ball, get the ball in motion, set things in motion, you're never going to get there. The important thing is making that decision and taking the first step here. So interesting. All right, let's move on. I was thinking whether I wanted to do, I think I do. Let me jump down to the career and finance portion of the reading, because I think it sort of ties in here with what we were just talking about. And then I'll come back to the relationship. So we have in the past position the 8 of Scrolls. This would be the 8 of Swords. In the middle position, in the present, we have Major Arcana number 18, the Moon. In the outbound energy, we have the 6 of Stones, or 6 of Pentacles. And the overall message for the last 2 weeks for career and finance is Major Arcana number 12, the Hangman. And in this deck, it's the Celtic Owl. And your life purpose oracle card is trust. Trust your feelings and dreams to guide your career path. Which is very interesting with the moon, right? And I was just talking about dreams, and then we have this coming through here. Okay, so, and I will give you, I know that I went over, so, for the moon and the Six of Stones, obviously the messages are pretty much the same as what I gave you up here, except for this particular deck. It does have slightly different interpretations, especially for the major arcana cards and the court cards. So I'll give you the different meanings for these cards, as well as, sort of the general meaning. So with the Eight of Scrolls in the past position, again, the Suit of Scrolls, air energy. We had air energy up here with the Six of Swords. It has to do with, our mind, our thoughts. It has to do with setting our intentions, coming up with our ideas, communicating those ideas to other people as well. And the Eight of Swords is usually a card of feeling stuck, feeling entrapped. And again, this deck, it depicts it very differently, right? We see all of the scrolls sort of hanging around above her head. In the traditional tarot, it has, there's the woman, and she's sort of blindfolded, and she has swords surrounding her, preventing her from, moving forward. So she feels trapped, right? It's a thinking that you're trapped in a particular situation, or it's this feeling of being trapped. But, thinking that this is the Suit of Swords, which has to do with our thoughts and our minds, we know that this is really just an illusion, right? In the traditional tarot, the woman could very easily slip through the swords, take the blindfold off and get out of that situation. So, but sometimes when you are in a particular situation, especially if it's, one that you're not that happy being in, or, you might feel as though you're trapped, whether this is a job, obviously we're looking more at career and finance here. So, if this is in your money sector, maybe you're feeling sort of trapped. Maybe money has been tight for you. But again, it's an illusion, right? There might be a way, kind of an easy way for you to get out of that, or an easy way to make more money. But, you need to see things possibly from a different perspective, and it's all about dealing with, or how we deal with these illusions, and how to kind of get out of the situation, or sort out our problems, and sometimes things really aren't as bad as we tend to, think they are, or our minds make out that they are. That might be a difficult situation, but it might not be as bad as you're making it out to be, So in this deck, the Eight of Scrolls comes in to really show you that it is just an illusion, that by changing your thoughts, by changing the way of viewing the situation, by, stopping whatever worry you have, by possibly seeking out the advice of somebody, you'll see that, there is a way out. You can come up with a solution. You can move out of whatever this difficult situation is. Now, with the moon sitting in the middle, again, it might come, and we did have the reference to dreams here, you might get inspiration through your dreams, right? You might get inspiration through sort of your intuition, those signs, synchronicities, repeating messages. Maybe you turn, the radio on in your car in the morning, and there's a song playing, and you go to the store to do the grocery shopping, and there's that exact same song playing. Pay attention to what's going on when you hear that. What are you thinking when you hear that song? And maybe the thoughts that you're having, then they'll contain some type of answer for you, right? Now, the moon in this particular deck, it's called Reflection, and it really speaks about sort of the subconscious mind, and really asks you to tap into your intuition, use your psychic abilities, and it can possibly help with, moving you out of this Eight of Scrolls mentality here. So pay attention to that inner voice, to your dreams. listen to your intuition here. And then by using these positive thoughts, these positive messages coming through, they can help get you out of and sort of energize your goals, help move you out of this Eight of Scrolls, Eight of Swords mentality. And then at the end of the reading, or the outbound energy, we have the Six of Stones. So again, Six of Pentacles, again, this sort of give and take type of energy. But, in this particular deck, the suit of stones, it has to do with charity, right? So a main message of this card, we see that there's the Tree of Life on this card, right? And there are these sort of these little gifts, these gifts hanging, these sort of symbols, hanging from the tree here. And what they have to do with is, being the gifts that we can give to others, and being or embracing charity, and being empathetic, accepting other people, giving to other people. So yes, it's a card of, give and take. I mean, much like the one up here, but it focuses more on the need to give. So it's on the giving more than the receiving here, with the Six of Stones. Now, the Celtic Owl as or the Hangman as the overall energy for the last 2 weeks. In general, the Hangman, it asks us to see things from a different perspective, right? Usually, obviously, this one does not show the Hangman as he usually is shown, right? Usually he's tied, sort of one foot is tied, or, both of them hanging upside down from a tree, or just hanging upside down. And it really speaks of seeing things from a different perspective, gaining a new, vantage point, or a new point of view. If he were the right way up, he would not see things from the same, in the same manner. So it might be a need to see somebody else's point of view, or view a situation from a different angle. Now, this deck, it uses the Celtic Owl here, and there's a message that comes through that has to do with rebirth. It's a message of wisdom. It's a message of rebirth. It's a message of transformation. Obviously, the owl is all about wisdom, and kind of this hidden wisdom and the secret wisdom. And we have the moon as well. So there could be something that's hidden that you need to uncover. It could be a hidden opportunity, or something kind of hidden in plain sight. So maybe this is even where you're working. Maybe you have felt for a long time that there was no room for advancement or growth within the company where you are, but maybe there is something there. You just haven't noticed it. It could be hiding in plain sight. It might be right there, but you need to uncover it, or see things from a different point of view, and or maybe approach something from a different angle. I'm getting angle with this, so it's about and transformation as well. And this could have to do with could be a goal. So again, I'm getting more that this is, if this is where you're currently working, that could be, you might have a goal of moving up, or a goal of doing something within the company. But this goal might not happen quickly, but, it could definitely happen. It's just to, be a little more patient. Try to possibly see things from a different angle. And maybe, you will uncover whatever this, is that you need to uncover to allow you to achieve that goal. Now let's read here for the life purpose. We have trust. And this card says, the angels sent you this card as validation that your feelings are trustworthy guides as you aspire to make healthy life changes. Your dreams and desires are clues to your life purpose, as your soul calls out to you through the language of feelings. If you are discontent in any situation, trust these feelings. If you're excited about the prospect of, for example, returning to school or opening your own business, trust these feelings. If your gut is warning you against a certain person in your life, trust these feelings. The first step is to notice your feelings. You do so by creating some quiet time alone where you can talk to yourself. Ask yourself questions like, what do I really want? And what is best for my life purpose? And then notice the physical and emotional feelings that come in response. Your feelings are the physical embodiment of heaven's guidance for you. Trust in their validity, even if you don't understand them or feel certain about what they mean. Yeah, so definitely this, the message is coming in very clearly for you to listen to your intuition, listen to that gut feeling that it's talking about here when you're, possibly, looking at whatever this, or trying to get out of this Eight of Swords or Eight of Scrolls energy there. All right, let's move on. The last part of our reading we have with the Oracle cards. This is from the Wisdom of the Oracle. In the past position, card number 13, Fork in the Road. In the present, To Be Fair, card number 38. And the future, To the Sea, card number 7. And the card from the bottom of the deck, the overall energy for the last 2 weeks, we have card number 52, Mending. And the Oracle card from the Power of Love deck is Individuality. You leave your unique stamp of love on everything you do. All right, so beginning with the Fork in the Road, this card makes me think of the Two of Wands, right? It's that looking down, both paths and sort of deciding, or you're at this crossroads and you need to decide, okay, which way do I go from here? It does sit in the past. So for some of you, that within a relationship, whether this is, sort of a family issue or a friendship or a romantic relationship, you might have faced in the recent past, a decision, you might have needed to make this sort of difficult decision. And in doing so, you needed to kind of weigh everything up, decide what was going to be best for you. And, if this is in a romantic relationship, maybe this was, should we, how are things going? Do we need to change anything? Should we stay together? Am I getting out of the relationship really what I want? And so it's about being honest, being honest with yourself about kind of what you're getting out of the relationship, what you're willing to give to the relationship and do, and, invest of your time. And there's no much, like I usually say with the Two of Wands, there is no wrong decision. If you decide to leave the relationship, that it's not a wrong decision. It's just you're choosing to stay or to go. It's just like if you are looking at two different jobs, I can either leave my job or stay. And it's not that one is right and one is wrong. It's just, there's a choice, and there's no wrong choice here. It's about moving forward. So if you do move forward with a relationship, then at least you've considered everything, and you're doing so, and really being that sort of authentic version of yourself in the relationship. If you decide to leave, then that's your decision as well. So there could have been a decision to either leave a relationship or to stay in the relationship and work on something that you needed to work on. But there was a choice, right? And it's brought you to this To Be Fair card in the present position. And, To Be Fair deals with, speaking your truth. It deals with being open to listening to the other person. It can also have to do with kind of balance. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the Temperance card, a little bit of the kind of like the Justice, with this balance. So, and again, this need to sort of consider options, and this cause and effect. Where do we have that? Kind of with the Six of Pentacles too. So again, there could have been, or this has brought you to, if you decided to stay in the relationship, you might be trying to work things out and to talk, to express how you're feeling, listening as well to the other person, understanding, being open to learning from the other person. And this cause and effect sort of, okay, again, if I stay in the relationship, weighing up the pros and cons, really you looking for that balance, this balance of ideas, of communication, of that give and take, to have a fair relationship, without one person giving more than the other, right? That equal sort of give and take within the relationship. And again, if you found, in the past, if you made the decision that, no, I don't think that I can have that, in the relationship, then, then that's fine as well. Then you weren't getting the give and take. If it was just you giving, then, that's not a fair relationship, right? And then the outbound energy to the sea, this card is it's kind of about going with the flow. You see that the woman here, she's in this bathtub, kind of floating along there. Yes, there's an arrow. It's showing the direction in which she's traveling, but she's not rowing. She doesn't have a sail up. She's just kind of has her head down. Can't really tell what she's doing, if she's reading or if she's just kind of going with the flow. She's allowing things to take their course. So, if you've decided to stay in the relationship, if you're talking about things, then this is, it's about whether, again, kind of a similar message with this fork in the road, because it's about, do you want to, stay the course? Do you want to keep going, go with the flow, or do you want to take things in a different direction? So again, if you're going to stay in the relationship, are things going to continue the same way that they have, or are you going to move on, leave that relationship in the past and set a new course? If this is a new relationship, it's about kind of seeing where things lead, allowing the relationship to sort of progress naturally and flow. And then we have the mending card as the overall energy. And this card, you can see that the two girls here on the card, they're mending this. I don't know if it looks like a little kite, or they're mending, not a kite, but like a little banner. And so it has to do with healing. It has to do with forgiveness. It has to do with making amends, especially after, an argument. If this is, you sort of airing your grievances and deciding to stay together, now it's about healing that, mending whatever needs to be mended within the relationship, healing, letting go of whatever old wounds or hurt from the past, letting that go, So this could be, for some of you, this could be the relationship sort of coming to a point where, if you're going to move forward, if you're going to allow the relationship to, to continue to flow, then, forgiveness is necessary. You need to sort of stop, forgive the other person. If there's been something that, that you need to forgive the other person for, instead of, you need to be fair. Don't keep throwing that back in the other person's face. If you make that choice to stay with the person, then you're forgiving. You need to forgive whatever happened in order to allow the relationship to continue on. You need to sort of clear this, whatever that energy is. And it's, by forgiving, with this forgiveness, if you choose to do that, obviously you have the choice not to. If after talking, if you see that it's just too much and you're unable to forgive the other person fully, in the relationship, then maybe, the best thing is to each go your separate ways. And then over time, maybe you can work on, healing and forgiving that person. But if you do make the decision, then, forgiveness is needed in order to allow things to continue and flow. Now let's see what this Power of Love card says. We have individuality. Let me find it. Here we go. All souls originate from the same source energy, but the Earth School affords us the opportunity to feel separate. That is the double-edged sword that is life in this physical dimension. Our nature is to be at one with the whole, but when we incarnate and our awareness of our divine self is diminished, lessons are learned more quickly. Your goal is to feel connected to everything while you experience the illusion of separation. And your path to that goal is your own. It's your individual journey. At the beginning, you may relate to the human aspect of yourself, the ego, but eventually glimmers of your true nature start to manifest themselves through awareness. When your distinct soul personality expresses itself and you live your life consciously, you have moved beyond the illusions of the physical dimension and have come back home to the truth of your spirit. As you present yourself in this world, every other soul who crosses your path will recognize this keen sense of familiarity and start to remember their spiritual heritage as well. Be yourself and love abundantly. That is a life well lived. Interesting. All right, well, I do hope that these messages have helped you in some way. I thank you for joining me here today. I look forward to reading for you again, and just know that I'm sending you much peace, love, and light for a wonderful rest of the month. Bye for now.